My cousin finds me really annoying. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Not Again with me, Dany Acosta. And today I have amazing guests. Guys, this is going to be really good because we have a businessman, a councilman, a married man. So, ladies, I'm sorry. We have Hermano Obed. How are you, bro?
Hi, brother. How are you? I'm happy. I'm a little nervous. Thank you for having us here. I'm here today. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. My name's Obed Matul. I'm here with my wife, Maribel, and my campaign manager, Beth Matul Ramirez. We're very excited to be here. Hi.
Awesome. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a businessman. We're going to talk about also being a councilman, the first Latino, right? The first Latino councilman here in Ward.
Yes, I have the honor of being the first Latino councilor in the city of Lynn. I'm representing Ward 2.
Ward 2. And we're going to probably talk about a little bit on Obed's faith. And we have some spicy questions, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, so welcome back. So, Obed and Maribel, ¿cómo están hoy?
Muy bien. Estamos muy emocionados de estar aquí. Very excited to be here.
How long have you guys been married?
10 years. Almost 11.
11 years. We're going on to 12 years now.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
For the first time in the history, the woman forgot.
Yeah. One for the guys. Yeah. Well, you know what?
We're going on to 12 years this June, 2024.
Really?
I'm so excited that I forgot my anniversary.
Summer marriage, dude. That's what's up. Okay. Well, I have a lot of catching up to do.
And congratulations to you. We know that you're getting married.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You only have 12 years to catch up.
Yes, only 12, yeah. But I'm almost there. You got to start somewhere, right? But anyway, so where are you guys from?
So we were both born in Guatemala. I'm from San Sebastián, San Marcos, in Guatemala, and my wife is from?
I am from Tajumulco, San Marcos, Guatemala as well.
Tajumulco. I wonder what that means in English.
I'm not sure what it means, but a quick fact, Tajumulco, the Tajumulco volcano is the highest peak in Central America. Es el volcán más alto de todo lo que es Centroamérica.
Well, I know in Guatemalan culture, hablan mucho de tierra caliente y tierra fría. Are you guys both from tierra caliente or tierra fría?
We're both from Tierra Fría.
Really?
Actually, Tajumulco, it's more like a warm weather, more tropical, yes. San Sebastián es más frío, un poco más frío, a little.
Oh, wow, that's pretty. So, what age did you guys come to the U.S.?
So I was 8 years old when my parents brought me here to the United States. I basically grew up here. It was my mom, my dad, my older sister, and myself that we came.
Wow, and yourself?
I was 14 years old.
Oh, so okay. Wow, dude. And when you guys came here, did you guys already come directly to Lynn, or did you guys move somewhere, like live somewhere else?
I was brought directly to Lynn. My father came to the United States in 1986. Mm-hmm. So, and he worked in California for some time, and then he came to the city of Lynn because he had an uncle who helped him come here. So when we came directly to Lynn, and we have lived ever since here in Lynn.
Where do you guys meet?
So Maribel and I, we both graduated from Lynn English High School in 2006. We never realized this, but we met in 2010 because I used to work as an assistant manager at an instrument store, and she used to work at a restaurant across the street where I would always go for lunch. But I would always see her there. But
I see your smile.
I would always see her there, but we never knew that we had very similar friends. All her friends, her circle was very similar to my circle. We had mutual friends, a lot of them, and yet we never crossed paths for about almost 5 years.
When you guys say mutual friends, do you mean like in a church, just in the
through
community?
Our church, in our community? For example, my cousin Lily, which was here a couple of weeks ago with you, a couple of months ago. Liliana Mendez.
She's your cousin?
She's my cousin, yep.
What the heck, dude? Oh my gosh.
She used to go to the same church with Maribel, and they used to be really good friends.
Okay, yeah.
And but yet Maribel and I never crossed paths.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And what was the thing that made you say yes to dating Obed?
My looks.
That's what he thinks. Well, Obed, he's a working man, and he has a lot of dreams, and he works to reach his dreams and his goals.
Yeah.
And I'm like that too. I'm very persistent. So I say, I think we can become a good team, good partners in crime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, tell me a little bit about your context, your background. Do you have any licenses, any certificates, and a little bit about your academic background?
I have 2 degrees, one in health science and another one in graphic design. We own a print shop, so it is
Name of the
very
print
important.
shop?
Full Color, and we are located at 365 Chatham Street.
Wow. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. And what do you guys do there?
We do all advertisement material, and now we started to do websites and all the social media for business.
Okay.
So that's what we work in. I am a mother.
Yeah. There you go. Right. That's another full-time gig you got going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how old is the little one?
3 years old.
3
Well,
years.
almost 4.
¿Cuántos años tienes?
How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tiene? Hoy no quiere hablar, está muy tímida.
She's very shy
quiere
today.
Hablar, siempre está hyper, pero hoy
Yeah.
está muy shy. ¿Qué
No,
pasa?
and that's fine. Yeah. Well, so now how long have you guys been married?
So we got married in 2012.
Yep.
So we're going on to our 12-year anniversary this June.
Well, give me some advice, bro, because as you guys know, I'm gonna get married soon. What is your advice for the first year of marriage?
Well, not just for the first year of marriage. Just enjoy your life. Put everything else aside and just stick to just let it be about you and her.
Remember, happy wife, happy life.
Is that
Happy wife, happy life.
happy wife? Get the knife. Yeah. No. So okay. No. Well, you know what, dude? I think that's really cool, and I'm really glad that you guys are here with me today because we have so many questions to explore. But I guess one of the big ones that people want to know, aside from how do you guys meet? I mean, it sounds like you guys met because you would always go to the restaurant. Maybe not because of the food. But what restaurant was it?
McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Okay, that beautiful restaurant. Yes.
He used to love
Very
McDonald's.
good tips.
Romantic.
Dollar menu.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you know what's really crazy though? Candia's and I first date. It was actually after church. We went to get a McFlurry at like 12 at night, and we just sat in the parking lot talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
very sad.
I know. But it was really sweet, dude. Really, really sweet. But are you guys involved in a church at all?
Yeah, so we're members of Ministerios Visión Cristiana in the city of Lawrence. Our mother church is here in Lynn on Union Street. But
Okay.
in 2009, the pastor back then sent my father to start a new church in Lawrence under the same umbrella, under Ministerios Visión Cristiana. And so in 2012, when we got married, we moved to the church in Lawrence to work along with my dad. So we've been working there for then. But we live here in Lynn, but we work with the church. With the ministry over there, specifically with His Love Foundation, con Fundación Su Amor, ayudamos a personas, a familias en necesidad, a niños en necesidad. We do a lot of work with the homeless as well.
Is that the target population that you guys have? Is it specifically in the States or specifically in Guatemala or both?
Both, not necessarily Guatemala, but more of Central America. We're looking at expanding. We have done missions in Guatemala. We're looking to, in the future, to be able to do missions in El Salvador, all of Central America, and expand it into Mexico as well. We actually just did a mission back in December where we brought food to 200 families. We provided with rice, beans, oil, sugar, essential things that they need, and we also brought clothes that were donated to us here in the United States. We also helped 220 students, elementary school level students. We gave them backpacks with school supplies, pens, pencils, everything they need for the whole school year. And another mission that we did, Dr. Pimini, Ward 1 counselor, newly elect.
Yeah.
Also-
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, Dr. Meany. Also came down with us, along with Counselor from Ward 3, Coco Alanson, in
Nice.
school
Ward
in Ward 3. That's what I said. Coco Alanson and school committee member Sean Reed. They also joined us, and we did a dental clinic. Dr. Meany with his assistant Mitch, and we were also joined by Dr. Estuardo from Guatemala City, and they did dental clinics for seniors and for young children.
What is something you learned about yourself in the process of going through that mission?
It's something that I learned is that we never stop giving. We work a lot, we gave it a lot, and I don't say this in a way to make myself look good, but we did a lot of work through the foundation, and when we were there, we wanted to continue doing it more. We wanted to continue doing it more. We learned every mission that we do, every family that we help, we see the need, and it gives us inspiration to do it even bigger at the next time.
And what is something you learned about yourself, Maribel, throughout this whole process? I mean, it must be really difficult, right? Having to go out, having to do this and that and the other. And also in the process of all of that, knowing that back home you have a business you have to run, knowing that your husband had just, at the time, right, in December, had just gotten elected to be councilman here in his ward and so forth. What did you learn about yourself?
Well, this is something that you don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now. I am the co-founder and president of his law foundation.
Nice.
In 2018, when a Volcán de Fuego exploded over there in Guatemala, I went to help families that were affected by that. And from that experience, I got touched and I got very compassionate about the people who are less fortunate than us. So I learned my lesson back then in 2018, and it is my passion to be able to help with whatever I can. And I truly believe in God, and I have my trust and my faith in Him. So I have learned that I don't have to worry about, my personal stuff like the business and things like that, while I'm doing, while I'm working on His business.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's my biggest lesson.
What was the biggest way that the volcano affected that part of Guatemala?
Leaving people without a place to live, and leaving a lot of families without their families, leaving children without their parents, and mothers by themselves. They saw they saw their kids dying, in the lava, and it was very hard. It was very touching hearing all the stories, and they were very affected. And the worst part and the saddest part is that they didn't have anywhere to go.
¿Cómo se siente cuando ven a personas allá en Guatemala recibir servicios dentales, verdad? Y que tal vez muchos de ellos por la primera vez están recibiendo una limpieza?
Es algo que nos tocó mucho porque cuando el doctor Mini estaba limpiándole los dientes, había niños de 12 años, de 13 años, que nunca en su vida habían visto un dentista. Y ve que, pues obviamente, por el estilo de vida que uno tiene en Guatemala, pues no tenían el mantenimiento, no se cepillaban los dientes. Muchos tenían infecciones que ni sabían que tenían los dientes infectados. Entonces, por ejemplo, un niño de 12 años, el doctor dijo, le tengo que sacar la infección, sea como sea. Le va a doler mucho, pero es la única solución. Si no le sacamos esa infección y él sigue así unos 2 años más, él tiene riesgo de que va a perder toda la quijada. Entonces, sí es algo que nos tocó mucho, muy triste, pero a la misma vez nos inspiró más a que ahora regresemos en lugar de llevar a un dentista o 2 dentistas, que llevemos 3 o 4. Y no solamente dentistas, sino también doctores, especialistas para poder ayudar a las personas. El pueblo donde fuimos es por un lugar que se llama Escuintla, pero la dirección que nos dieron está como a 40 minutos del pueblo donde se hicieron las clínicas dentales, porque ese pueblo no aparece ni en el mapa de Google. So we went to this remote village that doesn't even exist in Google Maps. So we were really out into the mountains. We had to drive on dirt road. Caminamos en carretera de terracería para poder llegar allá. No había internet, no había luz. El único lugar que tenía luz era la iglesia, donde estuvimos haciendo las clínicas dentales.
Was this the first time that the councilmen from Lynn, the different people in different wards, were supporting this mission?
It's the first time.
How did that feel for you guys, seeing that people from the community were supporting out there?
It felt really great to be able to have a representation from the city government, and at the same time, it was a great experience for them because, for example, in Ward 3, there's a huge Guatemalan community in Ward 3, and Councilor Alensong, he actually said this to us. He said, you know what, this is so big for me because I'm actually learning and I'm meeting and I'm seeing a whole different perspective of the Guatemalan community, and not just something that we see around the city in Lynn, but we were with the locals, we ate with the locals, we actually stayed over a few nights with the locals, so it was a really fulfilling experience for spiritually and mentally and physically to be able to serve.
Ahora, como ustedes saben, yo tengo una discapacidad, ¿verdad? Yo soy completamente ciego, entonces para mí es de mayor importancia los jóvenes que tienen discapacidades. ¿De qué manera ha ayudado su amor a jóvenes con discapacidades, sea aquí en los Estados Unidos o en Centroamérica?
Actualmente, voy a ser muy honesta, no hemos hecho algún trabajo directamente con personas discapacitadas. Nosotros aún somos una fundación bebé, por por así decir, estamos creciendo y conforme estamos creciendo estamos viendo formas de poder ayudar y expandernos más y poder llevar ayuda a diferentes necesidades, no solamente enfocarnos en algo específico.
Sí. Sí, no, pues si quieren conectarse más con la comunidad con discapacidades, ¿verdad? Por favor, pueden hablar conmigo porque hay mucha gente, incluso con el libro que yo publiqué en el 2022, podemos ayudar mucha gente en Guatemala, El Salvador, México, República Dominicana, Indonesia, los estados federales de Micronesia también, y aquí en Massachusetts, Maine, California y Texas. Entonces, estamos ayudando a muchas personas a través de un libro. Yo creo que si, bueno, usted como dijo, right, es una organización, un fondo que es baby, right? It just started. It's like grassroots. But you guys have a lot of things going on, which is amazing. It's very, very impressive. I'm like one person with one book, and I'm trying to do like all these things, but you guys are a whole team, and I'm really excited to see you guys there. How important has your faith been to your relationship? And was that of equal importance when you guys met?
Yes, it's been super important. I was born in a Christian family, and so our ministry has kept us together as a family, as a team, in everything that we do. Everything that we're doing is based off of our faith. You know, God is always first, and God is always in between us in everything that we do, whether it's at work, at church, with the family, with the foundation, in the city work, and everything.
And what about for you? Were you guys already attending the same church when you guys met?
No, I used to go to Ministerios Cosecha in women. And,
Okay.
Obed went to cosechar over there.
Yeah.
You know what cosechar is?
Yes, exactly. You reap what you sow, bro.
Cosechar. And,
Well, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You learn from your pastor. And as my pastor said, there's more than one way to multiply. No, but that's really, really good. Well, guys, we're gonna be right back, and when we return, we're gonna be talking about being a councilman, the first Latino, and maybe some of the struggles and challenges that come for both the councilman and being the wife, because I know you don't just live in the shadow of, I know that you're also living it together. So we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So, Councilman Obed Matul, how are you, my friend?
I'm well, thank you. I'm very happy. I'm satisfied with everything that we're doing. Again, thank you for having us here and helping us spread the word about what we're doing.
Well, I do want to start, man, with Maribel. You are not just the wife of. You know, often when we talk about pastors, we also say like, oh, she's the wife of a pastor, and in this case, I believe a lot of people might say, oh, the wife of councilman, and so forth. But I think there's so much that goes on behind closed doors, right? And there's so much support that you have to provide that a lot of people don't recognize. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, since the beginning, when Obed told us that he was going to run, we said, if you want to do this, we're going to fully support you. And I have been there supporting him. When we had the snowstorm, he said, oh, I got to go look the streets and make sure they're plowed. I said, we are coming with you. I feel that it is very important, you know, for a leader to have his family backing him up. So I believe that it is very important for me to be by his side and, you know, inspiring him and pushing him sometimes. Because I know it's not an easy task. And he's a very hardworking man, as I said earlier.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he loves to do things, you know, done them right.
And what has been the most difficult part for you specifically in regards to whether supporting them or maybe even things that you've heard in the community, maybe through the process of, being nominated or even before then? What has been the most stressful or most difficult part for you?
During campaigning, the most difficult thing was organizing our times and to do our agenda on how we're going to be working and make sure that our family is not going to get affected by this, because it is very a hard job. So organization was the hardest part, I would say, but we were able to do it, and that's the reason why we're working together.
Well, to that point, Obed, tell us a little bit about what are the actual responsibilities of a councilman?
So there's a lot. That's an open response question. Open response question. There's a lot of work that includes being a counselor. So far, I've really loved it. Being able to talk to my constituents. Perfect example is during the snowstorm. I got the first day of the snowstorm. I got about 40 calls or text messages or emails about different requests. So my street didn't get plowed properly, or things like that. We need more sand. We need this and that. And the second day, I got about 25 different calls. And so basically, my responsibility is to oversee my ward, making sure that everything is done properly. If there's any trees that need to be trimmed, or any tree issues, or any roads that need to be repaved, I'm actually getting ready right now for springtime. DPW is getting ready for the spring paving.
Yep.
So I'm submitting a list of roads that I consider that they're essential and they need to be repaved one way or another. So I'm going to be pushing for that, making sure that if there's any potholes, they need to be filled in properly, any trash issues, things like that.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of streets that are of high priority, right? And I think a lot of people might be expecting you to fill in those holes, not just literally, but also metaphorically. I think there's a lot of people that have needs that maybe haven't gotten their needs met in the past. What would you say is, like, let's say your top 3 communities in your ward? Like, is there mostly Latinos? Is it mostly white folks? Is it mostly, what would you say?
So the top communities in my ward, I guess you would say white and Latinos,
Okay.
which is and African American communities. My ward is very mixed, especially up in the Highlands. We're very diverse. We have a lot of different communities, and we're working with, we're reaching out to all of these communities to make sure that we help everybody.
If you could give a message specifically to the white folks in your community and those that are in your ward, what would it be?
If I was to give them a message, is call your counselor. I'm here for everybody. Doesn't matter what ethnicity or who they are. I'm here to represent everybody in my ward. The communities, the neighborhoods, I should say, are very different. Up from the Fayette State area, from the Meadows to the Highlands, they're all very different neighborhoods based on type of land, the hills, the parks, everything like that. But I'm here to represent everybody.
Nice. And by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in contacting Councilman Obed, we're going to have all his contact information in the YouTube description here down below. Also online in all of our social media, we'll have it all available for you guys. Because I think it's really important, man, that there is strong communication with the people that you're representing, yeah? And so a lot of the topics that we've been talking about recently in a lot of our episodes, and you guys can go watch them, the biggest topic, and it has slowed down a little bit, but I don't think it's quite resolved, and it might look different in your ward. You've probably heard about a lot of the violence happening among youth. A lot of youth are dying in our community. What are your thoughts about this?
I think one of the issues that we have in the city is that there's the information is not being passed on. I've met with a lot of people in the community who have said the city is not providing any programs for the youth. The city is not providing any programs for the families. The city is not doing this. Let me tell you, the city is doing a lot. There are a lot of programs. The Nicholson administration just had an event a couple of weeks ago, an outreach program, a mentorship program, where a lot of organizations were there so that people could reach out, could connect with them. And there's also a lot of programs like LISOA, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, Stop the Violence. All these programs are there to help the community. So if you think that there's not enough programs, you reach out to your counselor, reach out to the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, LISOA, all these organizations that have a lot of programs that are available. There's a lot of things that could be done. There's a lot of help for families, for single parents, a lot of families who need to work, a lot of parents who need to work 2-3 jobs to make sure that they take care of their family. A lot of times have to leave their kids by themselves, or they have to get a babysitter. And that's a lot of times when these youth have nothing to do, so they start, mingling with the wrong kind of people. And so all these programs are there to reinforce the youth, reinforce, what they're doing, after school programs and things like that. So reach out to me if you want. one of the things that I kept telling everybody, and I have done so far, one of my priorities is being accessible. Being for my constituents to be able to connect with me directly. You can reach me through text message, call me, email me. If you're on social media, I am on Nextdoor, Instagram, and Facebook. In fact, if you're on Facebook, we created this group called This Is Ward 2 Lynn, where anything that has to do related, anything has to do with my ward, I'm going to be posting there, and anybody can post there if there's any activities or after school programs that I will help the youth. They're all welcome.
When I was working at Center Board under the True Mentorship Program, I was a mentorship coordinator there. One of the biggest challenges that I ran into was the lack of finding male mentors that were willing to volunteer, that were not seeking compensation. Many of the youth, so there's a lot of things here, right? A lot of the youth, typically they saw our mentoring program as an after-school program. Mentoring is very different from an after-school program. So that was already one issue. A lot of parents needed somewhere to take their kids after school because they were working. The problem is that we're not an after-school program, we're a mentoring program. So that's one problem. The second problem was, again, the lack of mentors. We were running dry on male-to-male mentors. And one of the things that I found to be a huge problem was that parents were expecting teachers in Lynn Public Schools to be the fix-it-all problem. In fact, a lot of times I would get phone calls from parents and they would tell me, I have a child, this is a problem, fix him. Like, that's not how it works, right? So I do honestly believe that there's a lack of funding for a lot of these mentoring programs. Is there funding? Yes. Is there a lack of funding? Absolutely. I'm very grateful that Nicholson was able to do the outreach event that day. But what are some things that parents should understand about mentoring program from your perspective? And how can parents be more intentional about making sure that their kids are being led in a safe and in a healthy way?
Well, I think to start off, everything starts with the family. Everything starts at home. So parents need to understand that no matter how good a mentor is, or no matter how much time a mentor is spending with their kids, they will never replace a parent. The parent will have the most influence in their children, and the children will work based on whatever influence the parents have. So I think that's one of the things that the parents need to realize, that just because you have a mentor, that doesn't mean that you as a parent no longer have the responsibility to educate your kids. I think that both parents and mentors need to work hand in hand, because there's only so much that a mentor can do. And also, I agree with you, there should be more funding for these mentorship programs. They're great, but we do need more work into them.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. A lot of times I found myself limited as to what I can do with them, As you know, Center Board is a huge agency, but even then we were very limited as to what we can do. We were limited as to, can we put a basketball court up in one of the parking lots? We actually had to put one in another parking lot at another building that was way outside of where our mentorship program was actually occurring. Many times we wanted to go and do outings, and we were able to, but it was very limited. And because of the lack of volunteer mentors, we were very limited as to how many youth we can take out. Sometimes these mentoring programs also lack transportation. Sometimes we need vans to be able to take a lot of kids somewhere. I would take them rock climbing and so forth. But then there were times where it's like, a lot of our volunteers had to use their own vehicles. So what do you think maybe City Hall or maybe the city itself can do to be able to help with these issues that mentoring programs are facing? Because I think a lot of, like you said, right, the mentoring programs are there, but I think sometimes they're lacking the resources that they need to even do outreach. I mean, if it wasn't for City Hall doing this outreach program, I think a lot of these programs that do exist would be less known in the community.
I think you're right you're right about that. We do need better marketing. We need more information out there. I think one of the ideas that we could do is reach out through the schools. Perfect example is last week I took my girls to an animal fair, and I didn't even know about this animal fair. The only reason I found out for this kids fair is because one of my girls came home and she said they gave us free tickets to go to this kids animal fair. So I think if we reach out to the parents through the schools, that would be a perfect start, and it would be low cost, and we can get a lot of information out there. And at the other side, we do need more funding. We need the state to provide more funding for these mentorship programs.
Absolutely, yeah, I do agree. And I think when it comes down to mental health, mentoring is a part of it, but it's not the whole thing, right? And when it comes down to mental health, we're also seeing a huge need. We're also seeing a need right now. Well, let's talk about the mental health piece. What is your involvement in regards to mental health in the community?
To be honest with you, I'm not involved in any organizations that work with that directly, except through our church. We do a lot of work with mentoring through the foundation. We do have different conferences at our church that people can attend. But besides that, I'm not involved in any programs yet.
What about with housing? We see that housing keeps skyrocketing. We see a lot of developers trying to come in. When we talk about affordable housing or vivienda asequible, we see that it's percentages that they're basing it off of average income. There's not really affordable housing. I mean, you have to probably be married. You have to probably be jam-packed in a house with like several family members, renting out even a space in the kitchen just to be able to afford rent in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. What are you doing about this in your ward, maybe specifically, or just as a councilman in general? What are you doing to be able to target this problem? Because this is affecting not only the Latino population, it's affecting all of Lynn.
Affordable housing is a program statewide, even not nationwide. It's not just here in Lynn. Like you said, unfortunately, there's families, and I know families that have 6, 7, even 8 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment just because they can't afford the rents, and the rents are not going down. If anything, they're going to continue going up. So I think that another thing is that affordable housing is such a deep problem, or not a problem, but an issue that we need to see. We need to bring in better paying jobs. We need to provide families more money so that they can invest in their family, invest in their community, invest in their economy. Instead of just focusing on that, we need to make sure that instead of giving them affordable, cheap rentals, let's give them better jobs so that they can afford better places, so that they can afford better apartments. So that a newlywed family like you, for example, you don't have to worry about that because you will have better income that you can use to invest in your housing, invest in other things that you may need.
I think it also comes down to financial education. A lot of people don't even know how to budget. Some people, as you know, a lot of parents, they end up getting 2, 3, 4 jobs. They don't know how to budget. They spend all their money. And I'm really grateful for North Shore Community College, who's actually providing free education, right? I think for over 25 years old. But then it goes back to finances. I tell people, you don't have an income problem. You have a spending problem. You have a budget problem. But then when we put rent into that equation, rent goes up every year. I mean, we see it going up and up and up, higher and higher and higher, and then gentrification is kicking in. So we see a lot of our community members who we love, who make the city a lot more colorful, getting kicked out. Not directly, but indirectly through a lot of these kind of macro scale or meso scale or macro or meso system kind of factors. So what are some things that you feel the whole community as a whole can be doing? Because I see a lot of nonprofits advocating for affordable housing, but I also think we need some advocacy in regards from the standpoint of a councilman.
I think that, you did touch one good point. I think education is a big factor that we haven't really put in yet. We need to start educating young adults, people who are in high school, because they're the ones who are going to be the future in the next 10, 15 years. We're not teaching in schools. We're not teaching them how to maintain a mortgage. We're not teaching them how to file their taxes. We're not teaching them how to do a balance sheet. We should be teaching them things that they're gonna use every day, so that they can think ahead. One of the conversations that we had with my wife as we were driving here was, you got to think ahead on your retirement. You can't be working to spend your money today. You should be working that you're gonna use the money that you're making today in 5, 6 years, so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. That's why we need to make sure that we start educating them early.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think this is really important. And I mean, there's so much we could talk about when it comes to being a councilman. How has your experience been with working with Mayor Jared Nicholson?
It has been great. I met with Mayor Nicholson before getting sworn into office. We did I had a good conversation, and he's got a lot of good ideas moving forward. Not just with Mayor Nicholson, but with the whole council. We have a good relationship. We're working hard. I've reached out to the more senior councilors to pick their brains, to pick their minds, and of course, I have my own. I'm focused on my own ward. Everyone's focused on their own things, and moving forward, I think that we have a pretty good, strong team in the city.
I think Mayor Jared Nicholson has a huge heart for all the community. I've seen him work very effectively with many, many folks. I know that there's a lot of backlash sometimes, but I think overall, what I respect a lot about Mr. Nicholson is that you can't do everything, but damn, he does a lot for the community. And
one of the things that you have to highlight there is that we now have 33% of City Hall who are City Hall workers who are minorities. Something that he said in his State of the City address back in 2018. I think we had 1 out of 8. Right now we have, I think he said 3 out of 9, which is huge.
That's a huge difference, right? And what are some things that the city can do to further support what Mayor Jared Nicholson is doing and even what the council is doing?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, so what are some things that city members can do, like the population as a whole, to further support what Mayor Jared Nicholson is pushing for and then what the council is pushing for? Because I think you guys have a huge responsibility on your shoulders. Other than communicating with you guys and keeping that confidence of being able to communicate with you guys, what are other things that we can do to further support?
I think one of the biggest things the residents should be doing is getting involved. There's so many things happening. For example, most ward councilors have their monthly meetings. Mayor Nicholson did the parking study a couple of weeks ago. We have different studies, the School Street parking lot study, housing study. And it's sad that when we show up to these events, about 30, 40 people show up when there's over 100,000 residents in the whole city. So I think that, with all due respect, I think people want change, people want to see this, people want to see that, which is great, but we need to support, whether it's a meeting from the mayor's office, from the planning department, or from the councilors. We need people to get involved because it's easy to be behind a keyboard and complain on Facebook, but we need people to show up to these events, show up to these meetings. The mayor's asking for your input, do the surveys, your councilors asking for your input, do those surveys, reach out to them. From my perspective, I'm here to listen. A perfect example of that is a developer reached out to me about a month ago. He said, listen, on Monty Road, we want to see what are the chances that we could build two single-family houses there. First thing I did was reach out to every household on Monty Road, said, hey, we're going to have a neighborhood meeting to discuss possible development. We're not saying that we're going to do it. I just want to know what you want to do. And we had a meeting. Every single household was represented. Everybody said, we don't want that. So I, as a counselor, I'm going to go where my constituents go. And I told the developer and anybody else, while I'm counselor, I am going to oppose any development in this neighborhood because that's what my constituents want. So that's what we need, everybody. We need everybody to be involved, to reach out, let us know, talk to us, not just talk to your neighbors, but also reach out to us. Because another thing is that there's a lot of things that we are not aware of, for example, of illegal furniture dumping, things like that, trash issues. We're not driving around looking for these things. So when the community is involved and they say, hey, Obed, there's furniture on this street, then I will know and I will make sure that we take care of it. And together we can create cleaner and safer neighborhoods.
Which is something that we need, but I do want to touch on something that you said, which is the surveys. And I will attest to this, that as a visually impaired person, somebody who's completely blind, they're actually completely accessible. They are screen reader accessible, which I do appreciate the Nicholson kind of people moving forward with that. And we actually also advocated that the Lynn City website should be more accessible, and we were able to get that going. So I'm really, really excited for that. So guys, we're going to be right back, and we're going to be touching on some other topics. So we'll be back with Mr. Obed. Now to put you guys on the hot seat. Woo! Really? In your ward, what is your favorite restaurant? Only all of City of Lynn is watching. So no pressure.
In our ward, well, I would go Golden Monkey Cafe.
Wow. Okay, with confidence. Yeah, there you go. What about you, bro?
In my word, the Golden Monkey Cafe is one of
Yeah?
one of my favorite restaurants. My second best restaurant, and this is probably Iris Beth's favorite, is El Típico on Essex Street.
Okay.
That's part of Ward 2 as well. So both of them are great.
Oh, yeah,
There's
all
a
the
lot
time
of
she was El Típico.
there's a lot of good restaurants. Kennedy Fried Chicken's another great one that we always go to. We've known them for years. I know at first they had a hard time putting that together when they had the fire on the Union Street one. So those three restaurants are definitely top three.
What are some places that people that are visiting Lynn and they want to do like something touristic, but specifically in your guys' ward, what are some things you guys would recommend folks do?
So this is a good question, and it was asked at one of the questionnaires that we had when I was campaigning, and my answer hasn't changed. Buchanan, the floating bridge on Buchanan Bridge is definitely, it's a beauty in the summer. You can see the sunset, you can see the sunrise. It's an amazing place to visit.
Sounds very romantic.
Yep,
It is
we're
very
looking.
I'm gonna go there next week.
When spring gets here, we're actually gonna meet with some residents in that neighborhood. We're gonna do a cleanup there. We're gonna make it look nice, get it ready for spring. Another great place to visit. And this is going to be, I'm gonna take advantage of this. Keeney Playground, Keeney Park behind Ling English. It's probably one of the most used parks in the city. Every week, especially during the summer, you see people playing basketball, playing baseball, playing soccer. A lot of las ligas se juntan
Is that
a
the
jugar
one near
fútbol.
El Compare?
Yep, across the
Yep, okay.
compadre. That park is gonna get renovated this spring. There's gonna be a track around, so people who want to run, who want to train. There's a new irrigation system coming in, new playground. That's gonna be. It is already a gem of the city. It was so visited so much, but it's gonna be even better. Another place that we're working on. By the way, we're holding a ward meeting March 20. And I'd like to invite everybody, especially the Latino community, porque la comunidad latina utiliza el parque que está atrás de la English para hacer las ligas en el verano, ligas de fútbol, y ese parque va a ser renovado. Entonces, tenemos una reunión el marzo 13, March 13 at 6 p.m. A las 6.
¿En dónde?
Zion Baptist Church, which is right next to Compare.
Yep, right across the street.
Yep, right across
You
the
guys are
street.
gonna be on the
from
second
Keeney Park.
floor?
We're going to be, I'm not sure yet. They haven't told us where, but we're going to be there. And Dany Smith from the mayor's office is coming. A representative from ISD is coming. And one of the project managers is going to come. So we're going to have a lot of information. A lot of people have reached out to me. How accessible is it? What are they doing? What playgrounds? What are we getting? Are we getting this? Are we getting that? So that is your moment for you to ask questions. We have the three people who are going to be the most informed. So if you want answers, come to this meeting. Si quieren respuestas, venga ahí, pregunte todo lo que usted quiera. And going back to the question, sorry, another place that we're working to make it so that people can visit, get to know the city, it's going to be the community gardens up in Cook Street Playground. March 23rd, this is another important date. Marzo 23, de 8 de la mañana hasta 3, 4 de la tarde from 8 a.m. We're going to start at 8 a.m. We're going to try to finish by 3 or 4 p.m. We're going to restore the whole garden. All the beds are in really bad shape, so we're going to put new wood. We're going to power wash the stone wall. We're going to renovate, I shouldn't say renovate, more restore the community garden so that it's appealing. There's a lot of kids there all summer long. There's a lot of families that go there. We're gonna make it look nice. Even hey, you can bring Kenya there. You know, family can have picnics. Family can have family gatherings, yoga classes, small music concerts, small things like that. We're gonna make it so that people want to be there.
Okay.
You can write your poems there.
Yes.
Oh, I'll write a lot of poems there, and
And
make sure you guys follow me.
and
Unless you're the police, don't follow me if you're the police.
And on top of that, the views from community from Cook Street Garden and the playground, they're just amazing.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And from a woman's perspective, what are some places that young ladies can probably visit around your ward?
I love Buchanan Bridge, as I said, and I love all season. I love in winter. I love on fall. On fall, I went there for walks and take pictures because
Yeah.
the colors on the sky and everything looks just so beautiful.
Nice.
And Cook Park, it's beautiful too. You can see the sunset. It has a beautiful view from up there because it's in the highlands. So definitely those places are.
Now, for
Might recommend it.
the women that are watching right now, they probably admire you a lot because they're like, oh my gosh, it must be very admirable to be able to have as a husband, right? Somebody that's really honored and respected by myself, as many folks in the community. What is your recommendation for women out there that have a husband who has the ambition and the drive that they want to do something big, but maybe they're just struggling and wrestling with, I need my husband to be home present, but I also want to support his dream. What would be your recommendation for her?
Support him and be with him, help him on his tasks. That's my recommendation, so you guys don't lose time being together. As I mentioned earlier, during the campaign, we used to go out and door knocking as family. So we were spending family time while door knocking and meeting new families just like us.
Wow. Yeah, and I think, we were talking about earlier education and how important it is. And I see a lot of women rising up to the challenge. I see more executive directors that are women. I see more people in the community that are rising up as leaders that are women. Are there any leaders that are women in your community that you admire?
In my community, I admire a lot of women, and one of them is Magali.
Magali
Torres.
Rowe?
Yeah, Magali Rowe.
The Centro Maria.
I admire her work and everything she does for the community is just amazing, to devote her life to help others. I truly admire her. I admire many other women that work for our community. Frances Martinez, a great leader and the president of North Shore Latino Business Association.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a lot of great women, a lot of great leaders in our community to look after them and, follow their paths as a woman,
Yeah, and we also see more Latino businesses rising up. What are some of the things that you guys recommend Latino business owners that they would prepare or be ready for? And what is some support that you guys can offer new upcoming entrepreneurs in the Latino community?
So I would say be informed. This week I spoke with a couple of new business owners in the city of Lynn that they really didn't know how to go about starting their own business. So I think one perfect and a great example of resources available is EDIC here in Lynn, the Office of Economic Development. With Jim Caudell, I met with him, and they have a lot of great information. They have, if you're going to start a new business, go talk to them. They will guide you to the resources that you need. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of opportunities here in the city of Lynn. So we just got to make sure that we get it. A lot of people say that there's no information. There is information. Go to talk to somebody over at EDIC and make sure that you do your work. Don't jump in the water just for jumping, but get informed. Once you're informed and you're ready to go, then jump in and you'll be fine.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your contact information? Where can people find you, whether it's social media, phone numbers, emails, so that everybody that's watching can be able to contact you either directly or through online?
Yes, of course. My cell phone number is 781-632-1270. You can contact me there. You can call me. You can text me. Or you can find me on social media. It's just Obed Matul, both on Instagram and Facebook. Again, like I said, on Facebook, I have my political page called Obed Matul, Ward 2 Counselor. And we have the Facebook group, This is Lynn. This is Ward 2 Lynn, where you can reach us anything Ward 2 related. You can also check my website, which is obedmatul.com. You can sign up for my newsletter there. The newsletter is very important because that's when we send out a lot of information to a lot of people who are not on social media, but they still get those emails with information, what's happening, what we did. And there's a lot of work coming. March is going to be a great month, so if you're not connected yet, please do so. February is done. We're done. So we're looking forward
Yeah.
now to Keeney Park meeting, and then the Keeney Park, I believe, is going to start getting worked on in late April. And then in March, we're also going to be working on Cook Street Playground. And then there's just so much going on around the world that please stay connected.
Awesome. So make sure you guys check out obedmatul.com. We'll be right back with some final words, but make sure you guys subscribe to that newsletter if you guys want to be updated. Obedmatul.com. We'll be right back with some final words from Maribel and Obed Matul. Awesome. Guys, it was a privilege having both of you guys here. But before I let you guys go, we always do a segment called Honoring Time. So, Obed, we're going to start with you first. Who is somebody that you honor, and what would be your words to them, directing yourself to the camera?
So I would like to honor my grandfather, Julio Matul. He's been a great example to us. He's always been perfect, a perfect father. He's always been in contact with all his children. I love hearing his stories. Every time we meet with him, he tells us his stories when he was in the Guatemalan army, when he was younger, about all the hardships he went before that with his family, everything that they went with his brothers, with his siblings. And he's been always a good mentor to us too. So I would like to honor him and thank you for everything that he's done. He is 96 years old now. So.
Y si nos está escuchando ahorita, que serían sus palabras directamente a él.
Abuelo, muchas gracias por todo el ejemplo que nos ha dado. Muchas gracias por ser un buen ejemplo para nosotros, por ser un buen padre, un buen abuelo, un buen bisabuelo. Y esperamos que Dios nos pueda dar las fuerzas que le ha dado a usted.
Amén. Y hermana Maribel, ¿qué es una persona o quién es una persona que usted honra? ¿Y qué serían sus palabras para esa persona?
Bueno, definitivamente, creo que lo primordial sería honrar a nuestros padres, ¿verdad? Yo honro a mi mamá y pues le agradezco porque la fortaleza y todo lo que yo tengo.
¿Cómo se llama?
Puedo decir, mi mamá se llama Bramarina. Y nos estará viendo en Guatemala porque le daremos el link para que nos vea.
Así es.
Y pues yo le agradezco todo lo que ella me inspiró, porque yo creo que sin la inspiración de una madre, sin los consejos de una madre, se nos dificultaría más el camino, se nos dificultaría más llegar a donde Dios quiere que lleguemos. Entonces, le agradezco por sus consejos, por todo lo que ha hecho por nosotros, por mí como hija, y pues deseo que Dios la siga bendiciendo, llenando de salud y que pronto podamos abrazarla y estar juntas nuevamente.
Así es, yo creo que su mamá tiene mucho orgullo de poder saber que su hija ha logrado tanto, tiene el éxito que tiene y que tiene el privilegio, pero también el honor de poder tener un esposo tan maravilloso. Pero quiero hacer una parte aquí también muy especial. Cuando estabas hablando mucho sobre su amor, ¿verdad? La fundación que tienen, escuché algo en tu voz como que cambió, como que tu corazón es bien impactado por las vidas, específicamente los jóvenes que has podido impactar. Entonces, solo en ese momento, quiero que te pongas a imaginar las sonrisas que tú has traído a Guatemala, a Centroamérica, a diferentes partes de la tierra patria, ¿verdad? Como decimos. Y cuando tú piensas en esas sonrisas, en los jóvenes que tú has impactado, los abrazos que te han podido dar muchas de estas familias y la ayuda que tú has podido dar directamente e indirectamente, las lágrimas de gozo, de alegría, de paz de muchas madres, tal vez madres solteras, ¿verdad? Que perdieron a sus hijos por la erupción del volcán, o tal vez madres solteras que literalmente no tenían nada y usted, junto con su fundación, fueron la respuesta que ellas estaban buscando y pidiéndole mucho a Dios. ¿Qué serían sus palabras para esos niños y esas madres?
Mis palabras para esas madres y esos niños es de que su corazón y su mente esté puesta en Dios, porque Dios nunca los va a abandonar, la mano de Él siempre será extendida. Hay un texto bíblico que a mí me encanta y lo uso mucho para mí, que está en Juan 16:33, donde dice, y estas cosas os he hablado para que confíen en mí, ¿verdad? En el mundo tendréis aflicción, pero confiad, yo he vencido al mundo. Y esta palabra se los digo porque a mí me reconforta cada vez que estoy enfrentando algo dificultoso, porque todos tenemos dificultades en la vida. Entonces, confíen en Dios y también luchen por lo que ustedes desean en la medida que ustedes puedan, porque Dios ve cada esfuerzo que hacemos y Él lo recompensa. Él recompensa todas nuestras obras y todo nuestro esfuerzo.
Wow. Gracias por compartir sus palabras. Yo creo que muchos de Guatemala son bien orgullosos de tener a ustedes dos como pareja, a la nena, ¿verdad? Que también está ya moviéndose en todo lo que es la obra social para ayudar a la humanidad. Gracias por estar con nosotros hoy,
Gracias,
guys.
Dani.
Maribel,
Gracias
Obed,
a
¿Puedo
muchas
decir
gracias.
algo que se me olvidó
Claro, claro.
completamente? No olviden de seguirnos, His Love Foundation Inc. en Facebook. Síguenos y por favor si pueden apoyarnos, if somebody can support us financially or donating notebooks, backpacks, everything is welcome. We are planning our next trip to another mission to Guatemala in November. So estamos planeando otra misión para Guatemala en noviembre, entonces si puede apoyarnos de cualquier forma, todo es bienvenido. Síguenos en Facebook, His Love Foundation Inc.
Y ahí es el mejor lugar donde le pueden mandar mensaje para saber cómo pueden donar.
Sí, definitivamente ese es el mejor lugar.
Ok, excelente, muchas gracias. Así que toda la información va a estar aquí en la descripción de ese video. Por favor, mándenos mensajes si tienen alguna pregunta. Tienen el contacto ahora del hermano Obed de la fundación. Que Dios les bendiga. Nos vemos para la próxima. Y recuérdense de caminar por fe y no por vista. Dios les bendiga.
Amén.